time for us to take a weekly update from across the country, which we have christened our correspondent or former correspondent. And there have been a lot of activities this week, of course, from politics to human interest stories. So we begin from up north in the Upper East region, where the devastation caused by the flood situation was given a boost with the repair of the roads that connected Boko to Bolgatanga. That bridge was washed away by the floods. Albert Sori reported on that. We'll tell you more of what has been happening on it as well. We'll also go to the northeast region, where Eliasu Tanko reported of BEC students having problems accessing their examination centers because of flooding. They will all join me via Zoom right now. But first, let's hear some of the affected victims and some teachers who spoke to our correspondent at the commencement of the exams.
10 schools gathered here at the center. We have 493 students registered among all those schools who are going to take part. Now we are going very well, except that we are waiting for the question papers to be brought from the depot. So we are set. And I think we just got the information that 3 of the students haven't come because their houses were flooded and then got washed away by the floods.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pasanko.
So how did you travel from your community to Olugoye?
From our community, first of all, our teachers told us where to come by with a bus. Then because of the stature of the road with the water, so the bus said it could not pass anymore. So we had to come by with a tractor. And when we were coming with the tractor on the way, it got stuck because the water spoiled the way, we couldn't pass. So it got stuck. Then we had to get down and walk. And we had to walk through the water and pass. Then some of the students, but the guys, the boys of the students, they went back to help push the tractors in order for it to pass, for us to be able to come. And in the bush, we spent about almost 2 hours in the bush.
When we are coming, the road was not good at all. We suffered a lot. We reached some middle of the road due to Kankantina. We stayed there for about 2 hours. We were thirsty, a lot of things. Our tractor was not, even some of our friends were just complaining about how they feel, their waist, their legs. And even when we reach here, some of our friends go and buy medicine.
Eliasu Tanko joins me with more on this. Hello, Eliasu. Eliasu, were these students able to write some of the papers at all in your region?
Well, it was unfortunate. Unfortunately, we never had any information about these students. The last time we spoke to the supervisor that you heard in the clip there, he said the masters had not provided any information on these students. And we followed up, and still we do not have information on these particular students. These are not the only students. We had about 20 of them who were writing at the Wale Senior High School Center. That particular center had about 6 schools, and in all these 6 schools, 20 of these students did not report to sit for these particular exams. We gleaned information about the reason for this, and we're told that some of them had dropped out, some of them had gotten pregnant and decided not to write this particular paper. But specifically on the students at Pasanka, the 3 of them that you heard the supervisor, the supervisor was very categorical. He said the information that they had was that these students' house got flooded, and that is the reason why they did not come to sit for this particular exam.
Well, unfortunately, what it means for them is that they may have to write next year. But hang on for me, Ilyasu. Let me bring Albert Sorry in. Albert, the same devastation was caused in your area. About 4 or so people died. What is the latest on that situation?
Yes, Gipsy. So what is happening now is that here in the Upper East region, the floodwaters are receding. So basically, they are beginning to rebuild for most of the communities. You'll recall that at Kobori in the Boku West district, we had the floodwaters wash away a portion of the Bolgatanga Boku Road. Yeah. And that brought about some stranded passengers and drivers who could not cross to the Boku area or from Boku to Bolgatanga. 2 days ago, the government began patching that road. And what is happening now is that the road is fixed and commuters are able to use it once again.
Oh, well, that's good news. I'm coming back to you, Ilyasu. Ilyasu, how has the problem been solved in your area? We know that the VRA has been doing some kind of assessments there. Tell us a bit more about it.
Well, the VRA has sent a lot of their staff in here, including engineers who are helping, especially with the construction of the Pualugu multi-purpose dam. But they are also engaged in other activities. The last time we spoke to the man in charge of communications, he told us that the VRA, as part of the temporary measures to minimize of the flood, they are going to resettle over 500 people, and these people are in the direct line of the Bagre spillage. I mean, they are currently living along the banks and some tributaries of the White Volta River. So the VRA intend to resettle all these people from their lowland settlement to high ground as the Pualugu multi-purpose dam continue, because we do know that this is a project, this is a very big project, and it's going to last for 4 years. So within this 4-year period, this is the measure that the VRA is taking to minimize the effects of the spillage as well as the torrential rainfalls that we witness every year in this particular region.
Right. Let me just quickly acknowledge Peter Seno and Anna Sabitu are also online with us, but I'd like to hold you on back, Ilyasu. I'm going to Albert again. Albert, the VRA also has been doing some work in your area. Tell us about it.
Yes, so VRA Netco, one of the 3 contractors who are working on the Pualugu multipurpose dam. Now, because of the importance of this dam in curbing the perennial floods in the Upper East region, what the officials of VRA Netco decided to do earlier in the week was to come to the aid of some of the victims of the recent floods. So they donated some food items, 3 truckloads of food items worth 350,000 Ghana cedis to the regional minister, who then presented the items to the office of NADMO for onward distribution to the affected victims. Now, it was at this function that we got the opportunity to interact with the managing director and the public relations officer for the Pualugu multipurpose dam. And he indicated that for some time now, all the 3 contractors, including the Chinese partners, have been on site trying to start work on the Pualugu multipurpose dam. So as part of this, they created access routes to the area. They also set up the campsites where the workers for this dam will be sleeping when work starts. And they had done some concrete works as well before the floods came and interrupted them. And so
well, earlier
of the Volta River Authority, VRA, and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NETCO, gave the assurances while making a donation of some food items to victims of the recent floods in the Upper East region. They say the Volta Lake is under the management of VRA and therefore they were saddened by the plight of the flood victims. Osman Ayuba Aludiba is managing director of NEDCO.
We've lost lives, and a life once lost cannot be brought back, you understand? But what can we do to ameliorate the sufferings of the people? Once their lives have been lost, their farmlands have been lost, houses have been lost, you cannot actually compensate them. So this is actually not a compensation, it's just a token to just lessen the plight of these people.
The Pualugu multipurpose dam, when completed, will help control the perennial floods. Government cut sod last year for the construction of the dam. Therefore, following the devastation caused by the floods this year, many had wondered if any progress had been made with work on the project. Senior Government Public Relations Officer for the Pualugu multipurpose dam, David Pra, says all 3 contractors involved in the construction of the dam are currently on site. He said work had been ongoing in the area for some time, but had to be halted due to the recent floods.
The first and the major contractors, who are the Power China construction company, they are the engineers and the contractors of the actual dam. They are on site. They are doing what we call pre-concrete construction activities. They have done the access roads to the dam site very beautifully shaped with some culverts and other bridges fixed. And then they have also cleared the area where the workers will be staying. We call the campsite. The surveyors are also on site. They are demarcating the dam boundaries. And then we have the ESIA, Environmental Social Impact Assessment contractors. VRA is working with Lands Commission, Forestry Commission, and then EPA with Energy Commission. And we are doing what we call property valuation, to evaluate the properties in the area, to know who and who must be paid and at what cost. The reservoir space is about 350 kilometers square. So it's so large to contain the volume of water that Bagre will spill.
Sorry with that report. So let me go bring in Isaac Nonya. Isaac Nonya also has a story about the flooding in the area. We stay on the flooding a bit because shortly we'll be admitting Peter Seno as well as Eliasu. Anas Sabit is on a campaign trail. He'll join us, and then Peter Seno will tell us about an accident there. But Isaac, let me bring you in. You have a story, a similar story about flooding. Tell us.
Yes, Giti. If my area happened to fall within 2 districts, the North Gonja and that of the Central Gonja districts. First, with the North Gonja district, where the flood was badly, people are badly affected, close to 750 farmlands, and most of them happen to be groundnuts, yam, and then that of a farm, including soya beans. This particular product that I mentioned, during this period, if the water that doesn't move away anymore from now, their produce will go bad. And that has been the concern of many of these farmers who are affected. We also realized that those who were asked to relocate by the advice of NAMBO and then move away by themselves to those who were being housed at the...
Okay, Isaac, I'm losing you bit by bit. So let me just quickly finish with Anas Sabit. Anas is still on the campaign trail, and the campaign trail is moving. It's on the move. So let's finish it with Anas so that we can let him go. Anas.
Yes,
right. Anas, tell us where you are at the moment and what you have done so far.
We are still in the 2 East districts. And we have the former president just finished addressing the people of the Yeji area, where he has assured them of some very juicy promises, even offering them with a payment motorbikes so that they'll be paying in installments. A host of other promises he has been delivering since he got into the region. He also assured the people of Yeji, Yeji is a predominantly fishing area, he has indicated that when he returns or when voted into office, is going to establish a landing beach site for this fisherfolk so that their fishing trade won't be on the rise. So basically, this has been the engagement. There's an engagement he has with the paramount chief of the World Traditional Council. He doubles as the president of the Bruno Ahafo Regional House of Chiefs. Nanaya Adbese, he called on the former president to send a message across to his party faithfuls with regards to politicians engaging in chieftaincy issues. That, according to the chief, will kind of bring down the dignity of the chieftaincy institution. And the former president, in response, also assured that for the NDC as a party, they're going to ensure that they carry along the message of the chief and then also give the kind of respect the chieftaincy institution requires.
Anas, I see that you are on the move, so I assume that the trail is moving and you have to move with them together. But give us a highlight of what has happened in the region so far, if you can, in terms of your reportage. Then we can wrap it up with you so we can let you go and continue with the campaign trail.
Yeah, so far, this is the second day. Tomorrow he's ending the tour of the region. But today, this is the first point of call for the day. Is set to also move to the Prime area, which is the capital of the Peru West constituency. From there, we'll also be heading towards Abiase, where we'll be engaging the traditional authorities. We'll be also heading towards Apesika, also in the Kintampo constituency. From there, there is a big program to be held in Kintampo, where he will be commissioning a project, a cassava project that was established, or that has been established by the Kintampo Member of Parliament, who is also on the side of the NDC. So the former president, even though in opposition, will be commissioning a project this afternoon in the Kintampo constituency.
Sabit's there. He's still joining the campaign trail. Well, former President John Mahama, who is also flag bearer of the NDC, is in his region and he's doing a 3-day tour. Looks like this is the last but one day for the former president. And he's been talking, of course, the Okada politics is still ongoing there and talking to them about chieftaincy, etc. And as we can let you go now so you can continue with the campaign trail. But let's finish up this issue about flooding, which has been one of the biggest issues the whole week. It has killed 11 people at least. It has submerged so many farmlands in a season not supposed to be harvest season. And you know, the livelihoods for these people have all been washed away. You've seen what the intervention that authorities, have made. But Martina, I think I see you there. Martina, this flooding happened in the upper East region as well as the Savannah and then the Northeast region. Well, I don't have Martina. I thought I'd seen her somewhere and wanted to bring her in. But let me finish this up with you. Eliasu, Albert and Isaac. Isaac, I'll stay a little longer with you because you have other stories as well. Eliasu, let's finish it up with you. At the moment, has the weather cleared up? Are you still, or is the area still expecting some more rains?
The weather is cleared up at the moment. Yesterday, though, we had some few showers in the region. And for 2 days, actually, we have had some few showers in the region. But today, specifically, the weather is cleared up, even though I can see some clouds gathering. But the whole day, we've not had rains. We have spoken to our sources in other parts of the region, especially the Mamprogo, Muaduri area, the West Mamprose area, and also the Chilponi area. These are the 3 districts that are hard hit by this particular situation. And the indication also is that the weather there has also cleared up. But definitely, if you look at the weather, it looks like there are indications that more rains will be coming.
Thank you, Eliasu. Finish up again with me on the voter register exhibition. Did you gather any information on this? Or on this here in Accra and other parts that we've checked, there's been low turnout. What can you report on that, Eliasu? Looks like he didn't get my final question on that. Albert, sorry, let me come to you. Albert, has the weather cleared up?
We had some rain 3 days ago at dawn. It wasn't so heavy, but since then we've had some sunshine. The weather is a bit cloudy at the moment, but we've not had rains. The rainy season is not over yet as far as our season in this part of the country is concerned. So we would expect some more rains. The prayer in the hearts of many people is that if more rain should come, they shouldn't be heavy enough to further compound the flooding problem that we already have.
Albert, there's also a thing about the road that was washed away. You needed to give us a quick update on that. Do give us that, and then tell us how the voter register exhibition has gone, if you've had any information on that.
So the Kubori stretch of the Bolgatanga-Boku Road, which was washed away by the floodwaters, has now been fixed. Earlier in the week, we had some stranded drivers complaining, but we've returned to the place, and as the government promised, the road has now been fixed, and the drivers and commuters who are using it are saying that they are happy. On the voter exhibition exercise, the turnout has been low so far in the Upper East region. The checks we've made in few of the centers indicates that just a few people this morning and afternoon have come to check. The hope is that as the days continue, people will show up and check if their registration details are in the voters register.
Well, Albert has a story about that road that he just mentioned. Let's take a look. I do have Maxwell Kudeko, Eastern Region. We'll get to connect with him as well. Peter Seno is still online with us. We'll get to him as well. And Isaac Nonya has a very interesting update on the women who were branded as witches and manhandled. We'll get to that well. Take a look at Albert Sori's report.
A 20-meter ditch was created on the road at Kubori in the Boku West district, preventing commuters from being able to cross over from the Boku areas to the capital, Bolgatanga, and vice versa. Earlier this week, government assured stranded drivers that the road will be fixed. Joynews can report that the road has now been repaired and commuters are using it. Drivers say they are now relieved they are able to use the road again. Here are some of them.
Now we are very happy that they fixed it. Our cars can now pass, we can now do our business, and everything is all right for us now. We thank the Almighty God. Everything is going on well now.
It is good now. We are feeling happy because when the road was washed off, we don't know what to do. We, the passengers and the drivers, we are all suffering from that other road. Even if you load and go, the moment you come back, all the money you get, maintenance, they will take the money again. So you get nothing. So we are happy for the contractors.
Albert Sori's report read to you.
Let me go to the Eastern region, away from the Upper East region. Maxwell Kudeko has been online for a while. There has been, of course, low voter turnout, like you know. But Maxwell, what can you report as far as the latest, which is the voter register exhibition, is concerned?
Well, it's a little bit too fair to say that the turnout has been very low in most parts of the Eastern region, in the sense that even though, as typical of Ghanaians, we normally patronize some of these things at last minute. Most of the centers that I visited have had quite some encouraging numbers. For example, in the Abiso electoral area, closer to the old Abiso clinic, as at midday, about 55 people have come to check their details in the register out of almost 600 people who registered in that particular electoral area. In most areas the numbers were around 25, 30, and thereabouts. So on the average, I would say that for the start, it has not been too bad in most parts of the state.
I hear some sound in your background. Hopefully we can get that muted. But the National Road Safety Authority and Motor Traffic and Transport Division of the Ghana Police Service has visited the accident scene, and they are advocating for the immediate completion and opening of the N6 popularly known as the Accra-Kumasi Highway. They want this done to reduce the carnage on that particular stretch. As you know, there were some accidents over there. Max, you have been following up on this one. What is the latest? Well, we've lost Maxwell, but take a look at this report he brought in.
A joint team from the National Road Safety Authority and the Motor Traffic and Transport Division of the Ghana Police Service, led by CEO of Road Safety, Engineer May Obriyebua, have been visiting the Chichere accident scene to assess the nature of the road and causes of accident on that stretch. After several engagements at the scene, the two state institutions admitted that if portions of the Accra-Kumasi road that is near completion is open to traffic, it will reduce the head-on clashes and road accident-related deaths. Director of Research and Programs at the MTTD, Lieutenant Kwaku Obeng, made this observation after touring the Chichere accident scene that claimed 14 lives 3 days ago.
Sometimes we see drivers unlawfully changing lane on semi-carriages, facing oncoming vehicles. We see drivers flouting fatigue rules and drive tired, and their vehicles veer off and crash into oncoming vehicles on these single carriages. Engineer will be encouraged, admonished, and appealed to find the needed resources in our lifetime to ensure that this policy that the state started way back in review, dualize these two Trans-West African Highway and Ubaflao Accra will be realized to eliminate the risk of headlong collision, because with rollovers on dual carriages, there is always minimal.
CEO of the National Road Safety Authority, Engineer May Obriyebua, believes same. She also wants road engineers to construct mandatory rest stop on highways and employ the police to enforce the law.
But one of the things I think could also cure, which we have always said, and I have just seen signs of it, is dualization. And we all believe that, yes, people could drive wrongly, or somebody's tire could burst. But if he was on the other side of the road, probably there will be no head-on collision. It goes in the opposite direction. So dualization of this section, that is all the way from Accra to Bolga or to the northern part of our country, will greatly decrease the number of crashes that we have. That is the head-on collisions. And also, we have also said that driving tired has also contributed. So if we should have mandatory rest stops along the sections, all the way from Accra to the northern part, where drivers will go rest for about 30 minutes before they continue. And also two drivers in a particular vehicle, especially when you're moving for more than 200 kilometers or so, you should have two drivers, so the one can take over from the other, probably when they get to a certain point.
The Sohom District Police Commander, Superintendent Joseph Owusu, also hinted the culprit of the Chichere accident has been remanded into police custody. He said the police is waiting for advice from the Attorney General for further action.
The one who caused the accident, we apprehended him on the same day and then detained, and then the following day we arraigned him before court, and he has been remanded into police custody to reappear on 22nd of this month. Now we have to build a standard docket and forward it to Attorney General's office for advice. So the directive will come from Attorney General's office, and from there we will arraign him again and put him before court based on Attorney General's directive.
Maxwell Kudaka report for Joynews.
So let's wrap up with Maxwell, who is still online with us. Maxwell, so what is the latest on this accident that claimed just so many lives?
Well, we are told that as of now, the number of people who are confirmed dead in this accident still remain 14. A couple of them, numbering about, say, 40 who were also injured, have all been treated and discharged. Now, actors within the road safety sector or stakeholders, as we heard, are advocating for strategies, or as it were, efforts to reduce the carnage on that stretch of road, especially between Teacher Mante through to Abidjan Dash into Musu Junction. You realize that from Teacher Manti through to Chichire to Suhum, a section of the Kumasi to Accra dualization project have been completed, or somebody will say it's almost completed. So authorities or road safety managers are advocating a reopening or a partial opening of that stretch to traffic so that it will ease the pressure on the single lane in order to avoid head-on collision and other accidents that cause human life. So that has been the advocacy now on that stretch of road. But by the grace of God, all the people who were injured have been treated and discharged from the Suhum and Sound government hospital.
Maxwell, thank you very much for that update. Maxwell Kudeko for the Eastern region with what's happened in this region this week. Let me finish up my conversation that I started with Isaac Nonya. Isaac Nonya reported a bit on the flooding as well, but he has been to court. In fact, there have been court cases of the woman who was accused of witchcraft and nearly killed. There's also been an update on the woman who was actually killed in Kafaba. Isaac, let's start with the woman who survived and whose case was in court today. What happened? Isaac, you're muted, and if you would be at one place, then we can hear you much smoothly, I think. So stay where you are and unmute for us so we can hear what you're saying. Yes, you're still muted.
Yes,
yes, go ahead, I hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, there are 5 suspects that were accused from Supimi right after the torture of Maria and the others. Were in court today, and still they are not the charge. The criminal charge that was given to them by the police, which is causing harm, is not the cause. But the case was has to do.
Isaac, I'm struggling to hear what you're saying. I believe our viewers can't hear you either. Let's touch base with Peter Seno. And let me also acknowledge that Ivy Setoji is on the line, is on Zoom with us for the Volta region. Peter is for the OT region. We'll try and reconnect with Isaac Nonya on those incidents. But Peter, you are in the OT region. There have been some accidents there as well. Give us an update and a wrap on what's been happening this week. Then we take a look at them in detail.
Right, Gifty, yesterday, I think at the late hours of yesterday, we had a report of an accident involving 2 motor riders. One was carrying 2 other passengers, and the one was on the bike alone. The one on the bike alone, we are told, according to eyewitnesses, that he was trying to make a call or receive a call, and so wasn't focused on the road, and so veered off into the other lane, leading to this crash the visuals we have seen. And so where 4 people have been involved in that crash yesterday, and that in fact all of them have their limbs broken with various degrees of fractures. We are told a 72-year-old man was involved, and then in fact he almost left yesterday, died yesterday, according to the emergency service providers, that his BP was coming down as low as 45, 46, and then yesterday. And so they are all currently at the St. Mary Teresa's Hospital at Papasi here in the KJB district. And that, in fact, the 72-year-old man, we are told, is being prepared to be referred to the Volta Regional Hospital. That's the Trafalgar at Ho. And so that is the state of affairs as we speak. And in fact, the emergency service providers, the ambulance service, they are, in fact, only 2 men yesterday we saw even in the visuals attending to 4 people. And so somehow they are understaffed in the district to provide proper emergency service to residents in the district. And so somehow they say they are understaffed and they will need more men to be on the ground. As and when they call them, they can duly respond. And Gifty, what is worth noting also is the reckless abandon with which some of these motor riders ride in town. And usually they do it without their helmets on. And now that schools have even closed, the WASI candidates have come home. Some of them I know were even riders while they were in school. And so they are all coming back to the street now. In fact, authorities would have to step in and put stringent measures in place so that we don't have more fatalities. In fact, the politics of it, I don't want to go there. That what the NDC is proposing, I don't want to put myself into that harm's way this afternoon. But if you ask me, authorities must be firm and fair and deal with anyone who has one way or the other violated the traffic rules, so that we can be safe on the road. Now you are moving on the road, you don't know if you are going home safe as you came out or not. Everybody is scared, Gifty.
I get that, but then back in the OT region, give us an update on today's voter register exhibition. Have you gathered any information on that? What happened today there?
Yes, Gifty. As I move around, I have seen a number of, I observed from a number of exhibition centers. In fact, very low turnout. At my last check, one of them that had about 470 registrants who are supposed to go there and check their details, only 2, as we speak, have gone to do that. And so our sources even within the EC say that it is normal of these exhibition exercise. So for them, they are not surprised about the very low turnout here in the OT region as well. And so that is the situation here. Very, very low turnout as we can report them, Gifty.
Right. Anything else as a highlight that has happened in your region this week, Isaac? Sorry, Peter.
Yes, one more thing that I reported on is the rainstorm victims last March that are yet to receive anything from the NADMO. My information is that a few things have been gathered to be given them, but hasn't been given to them yet. But I know that the district coordinator and then the DC, they have gone to the regional level to pick a few things for them. And so that is what they are doing. And then let me also mention that the second lady, Samira Baumia, was also here doing a few things. She has even within the district, and the Zongo community, trained 40 women in making detergents of various kinds and forms. And so we will be bringing those reports to our viewers later, though, but that is what has been happening. She came around last week, moved around the region, and as we speak, 40 women in the Zongo community here in KJB have been trained in soap making and detergents.
All right. Thank you very much, Peter. Peter Seno there is from the OT region. Let me finish off with Ivy Setoji for that particular part of the country, because I still have Isaac Nonya to give us an update on the Kafaba murder case. Ivy, what can you report? Let's start with the voter register exhibition.
For today, as it is in other regions, voter region has low turnout of the voter exhibition. Most people are saying that they rather check on their phones. I don't know how possible is that, but people are not really willing to go to the centers to do that for now, especially from the day one. They want to wait until some time or try and see if they can check from their phones.
Right, Ivy, what else has happened in the region that's worth highlighting today?
All right, so the African World Airline were in the region yesterday to assess the whole airport to see whether it is ready to be operational or not. They were there, had a tour of the whole airport, and then they realized that the airport is ready to be fully operational. They are saying that if they are given the chance to operate, they will do that immediately. So from there, they went to Agubumafia to pick a seat call on him. So for now, according to the African World Airline and some management of the airport authority, the whole airport is fully ready. And also, we also understand that the Akachinov district has recorded the highest rates of teenage pregnancy, and this has resulted into more like fear and panic among residents, because some are also attributing it to the school closure of schools for now, making children stay at home, and also some also attributing it to lack of parental care. A camp is ongoing at Ho, where adolescents are being trained to take care of themselves and know what to do when situations of that sort comes up. So for now, these are the 3 issues in the Volta region.
Ivy, thank you so much. Ivy Setoji there joining us from the Volta region. So we've done the Upper East region, we've done the Savannah region, we've done Northeast region, we've done Noti region as well. We've done Nas in the Bono East region. Let's finish up with Isaac Nonya. Quite a number of names there. It takes a while to grasp everything. Isaac will give us an update on the alleged witchcraft cases where one person was murdered, another person was butchered, if you like. Isaac, tell us what happened in court today.
I want to quickly state that 12 suspects appear in court today. 5 from the Supini and 7 from Kafaba. First of all, with the Supini, all the 5, including the chief of the area who appear in court today, still pleaded not guilty, and the court was yet to charge them. They are standing on the provisional charge that was leveled against them put on them by the Savannah Regional Police Command. So in that case, the court did not hear much of them, but they moved to the Kafaba issue where Hajia Serena Fatima and that of Bumanya Latifa were already charged of murder and conspiracy murder. In that case, the magistrate court has transferred the case with a separate sheet to Family High Court, which will be heard on the 13th of next month, while the other five accusers from Kafaba, one of them told the court that he has a point to make, and the court wanted to hear that, which he said, having appeared 2 occasions without bringing a witness, in this case, he has a witness to present to prove that he's innocent on the case that he has been brought to the court and tried to be put on charge. So the court said, that's your right. You can bring the witness next time when the court is going to hear that. The court also discharged them, the 5 suspects from Kafaba. They were discharged. As they came out from the court, few seconds, they were arrested by the police and they detained in Damago as we speak now.
Give us an update on the other, the much recent one where the victim was butchered.
Yeah, the Supimi.
Yes.
In the Supimi case, the court says that having noticed what happened at Kafaba, the case of Supimi is going to be that of a recipe of what happened in Kafaba. So it should be a lesson that all the people who took part of what happened at Kafaba should be fed as testimonies to those who are doing what is happening. But the women, they said that they are not the real suspects. Say the police report. These 5 suspects from Simpini are not the real suspects they are looking for. They are on the run. There are those who will help them to aid them to be able to get the real suspects who are on the run, including a lady by name also Fatima, who is claimed to have triggered the attack on these 5 other women.
Well, Isaac, thank you very much for that update there. We hope that we would have been able to do the update via Zoom. But are you still there, or have I lost you? Because I wanted you to give us a bit on the voter exhibition, if it happened in your region. Did it?
Yes, we are also taking part. But I must say, as they say, the official said the turnout was generally poor.
All right.
I went to the police station. We have about 1,400 people who registered there. Out of that, we have 85 who came up. The National Ambulance, 550, we have only 80 who also turned up. We assume that people are so lazy their boots to come out and check their names.
Very well. Isaac, thank you very much. Isaac Nonya there from the Northeast region joining us with that update.